Hello, this is a new edition of Baku Network think tank platform. Today we have special guest joining us from as a member of European Parliament from European Union, Mr. Tomasz Zdechowski, member of Parliament from Czechia, and also we have a member of Azerbaijani Parliament, Ms. Sevil Mikhailova. I would like to greet you both of you. Thank you very much and welcome. And today also we have a very special kind of topic to discuss. And if you don't mind Ms. Mikhailova, I will start with Mr. Tomasz Zdechowski. Mr. Zdechowski, you are, as being member of the European Parliament, you are also the chair of the Parliamentary Cooperation Committee responsible for relations with Central Asian countries. So I would like to start with you. As the chair responsible for this region, how would you elaborate the latest developments, the relations between the European Parliament and the Central Asian countries? Because as in the South Caucasus, as Azerbaijan, we are also very affected with any development taking place in the Central Asia, because we are the part of the bigger Eurasian region, and whatever happens in the South Caucasus, for example, immediately affects the Central Asia and vice versa. So we have seen, unfortunately, some crisis in the Middle East. We have seen some developments in the South Caucasus, and now it seems that the region, the Central Asian countries are becoming more important for the European Parliament, for the European Union. And I can also say that now the internationally speaking in the geopolitical terms, the focus is being shifted from Atlantic space, from the western part of the region to the eastern part of the world. Now the West, the United States, the European Union is focusing more on the Central Asian countries because of its resources, because of its because of the transport and connectivity issues that are going through Central Asia. So having said that, I would appreciate for you to elaborate a little bit more what is going on, what's the situation and attitude of the European Union, European Parliament currently towards the region.
Thank you very much for the question. When I started to be chair of the European Parliament delegation for Central Asia and Mongolia, there was not so many contacts between Central Asia, Mongolia and European Union. But when I had the opportunity to be chair, I said that I will change it. And I started first with apologizing to Central Asia diplomat and ambassador that European Union didn't take care for long times about this region. And it changed really the atmosphere between us. And we started much more speaking in a friendly atmosphere about the future cooperation. We started every month to meet together twice, 3 times, 4 times. Every time when I was in Brussels, we had lunch, dinner, and we started cooperation without any jealousy between the countries. And first, our event was about economic cooperation in Brussels, and it was very successful. It was the full whole of the people who wanted really have a lot of businesses in Central Asia, and online there was more than 300 people outside what were really enjoying our meeting. And then everybody in this country understood that the time for changing is coming. And from this time, after 8 months, you have concrete results. You have a lot of agreements. If you read the report about Central Asia, it's very, very good written. If you see how we manage meetings between us and Central Asia countries, included Turkmenistan, the country what was very isolated from others. And now we started process of negotiating more and more things, also Erasmus Plus, We are speaking openly about visa liberalization and other things, about business cooperation, about new embassies. And I think it's every time about the person who takes care about the region. If the chair of the delegation is really quiet and don't do nothing, also he is there only sitting and he doesn't take care about the relationship, he doesn't have really deeper knowledge about the region, he will nothing to do. And you can see last 8 months are the best in the history of relationship between the EU and Central Asia country and Mongolia. And we will continue to the end of this mandate, to the July. We will have it more than 10 events, and we will have it more than 10 visits from the Central Asian country. And this is what I did. I promoted our relationship. I said that it's for us very important. And everybody knows here in European Parliament that Central Asia is our focus and main goal. This is what was changed here, especially in European Union. And in the Central Asia countries, they understood very well that we are predictable partners, we are very good friends, we will help them not only economically, but in many issues. You can see how many reform Uzbekistan did, or other countries, also Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. Also, it's on very good way, and there is a lot of things what these countries change because they want to have it very close and very strong cooperation with European Union.
Yes, very important aspects you have mentioned. Indeed, Sevil Khanım, we think that when we talk about the Central Asia, its relations with the European Union, it is almost impossible to say that Central Asian countries have access to the European Union, to the Western direction through Caspian regions, through Azerbaijan. So it is very important to mention that it is inevitable to speak also about Azerbaijan, about the South Caucasus, because the Central Asia is a part of the bigger Eurasian region, and South Caucasus, as well as the Central Asia, is the heartland of the Eurasian geography. So I would also appreciate your comments about the role of Azerbaijan, the South Caucasus. As you know, just a few weeks ago, we had very important gathering in Azerbaijan, the SPECA program of the United Nations, dealing with the environment, water, transport, and communication issues. So this, taking into account these aspects, it means that we have to take into account the region together, South Caucasus plus Central Asia, and we both are very valuable for the European Union, for our partners together. Don't you think so?
Exactly. First of all, I want to say that I was very glad to have this discussion with our colleague from Czech Republic, and I'm happy to hear that the European Union at least shifted its focus to the Central Asia as well, in terms of building connections, building relations, and fruitful cooperation, first of all. As my colleague said, Mr. Genceliev, so really we cannot view the cooperation between the EU and Central Asia without South Caucasus, because we are in the center, so we are a linkage between these two geographies, and we do believe that the constructive role of the South Caucasus in relations between European Union and the Central Asia ultimately will bring really benefits to all of participants in this process. So coming to the Central Asia, I want to say that as Azerbaijan, we have able to build very fruitful relations between Azerbaijan and Central Asian republics, because they have really big potential. And now we are in the process of building good communication hubs with Central Asian countries. We are increasing the capacity of our seaports because we are in the process of setting up the middle corridor, which is very much supported by the European Union as well as an alternative route. And we believe that the Central Asia, which is full of resources, can be really helpful to the developed economy of the European Union. So, and this linkage will of course cross, as Mr. Genceviyev said, from from South Caucasus, and Azerbaijan is on the center. And it is interesting to know your opinion as and as an MP representing the European Union. So about your visions of the potential of Central Asia. So what are your expectations from this cooperation? So what do you expect to develop in future with these republics? You just mentioned Mongolia and you mentioned Turkmenistan. So we know that both of them have really rich resources. For instance, about Turkmenistan, you're right, about its rich gas resources and other resources. But how do you view how to use their potential, how to set up the cooperation? And it will be very interesting to know, as you are the chair of the committee, and maybe you have your direct strategic role in this connection.
Yes, thank you very much for your overview about the situation. This is what I told to your ambassador, that we want to have a very good relationship with Azerbaijan. But you have find the peaceful process with Armenia, and then really we can triple our economic relationship. In this time, it's Azerbaijan is strategic partner for many countries. You know that Czech Republic and Azerbaijan has its same history. We have it many students in the Czech university from Azerbaijan, and they are great students. We have it many businesses in the Czech Republic of Azerbaijani entrepreneurs. But it's very important have it this structured dialogue, and really for the investors and for the European community. If you are still in war, and every time we see that Nahorny-Karabakh, it's not stable. No one will go and invest huge money to Azerbaijan economy. And if we will find it the peaceful process, because you know that situation between Kyrgyzstan and his neighbors about the borders, it's not stable too. But they are in peace process with European and with close contact with European Union. And if the countries from Central Asia are stable, we will invest the money. There will be huge investment, huge amount of the businesses, and we are now focused for Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan has this huge potential. You have it huge potential in chemical industry. You have it huge potential with your resources, but the biggest potential of your country is in tourism. I was in Baku. I was around. I was visiting your country, and you are amazing country that you can really see very beautiful resorts on and beaches, and on other side you have it amazing mountains. And I think this combination, it's really very relevant for many European peoples who are now planning the holidays. But if there is no stability, no one will come, or few of people. Also, for us, we will be very appreciated if Azerbaijan is part of this big business package what we are now doing with Central Asia countries and Mongolia. And this is not about only resources. We had it with Russia a lot of cooperation. But when Russia started the war, we stopped it. Zero. There will be no any investment. And now we will go with USA and ban all the countries what have it this close relationship. If someone wants really help Russia with sanction, he is not our partners. And this is what we started explain last 3-4 months. The countries like Turkey, India, and of course the Central Asia countries. We want a really stable, peaceful, and pro-democratic oriented cooperation with countries like yours. So it's for us very important have it long stand agreement in many things. And I think that when the Russia aggression against Ukraine started, we asked Azerbaijan for cooperation in oil and gas industry. And for us, Azerbaijan was number one when we asked for really closer cooperation. But in other things, for other investment, we need to find peace solution for your countries, not only for 2-3 years, but for all the years. I think that Nagorno-Karabakh is beautiful part of this world, and really find the balance. We can every time have it the war between Czech and Poland about Český Těšín and about Těšín region because it's Czech-Polish region. But the European Union did or brought us on the same board, and it's not necessary have it anymore. It's much more necessary have it the peace, and this is the main part of our prosperity.
Yes, Mr. Zdechovsky, I would like to develop your ideas because, as you know, recently we have been able to liberate our territories from occupation, and now together with Armenia we are on the peace track. We are negotiating the final peace treaty in order to sign the peace treaty that to resolve all remaining issues through diplomatic means, through peaceful ways. And we have also very good positive developments between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Armenian officials declared recently on many occasions that they recognize the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Azerbaijan, including Karabakh region being part of Azerbaijan. So this is very good development. So that's why very important for the European Parliament to support this peace process. We have to advocate for the signing of the peace treaty very soon. I do hope that we will do it in this current year. So this is very important when we talk about the business, economic opportunities, relations, and the importance of the Central Asian countries and the South Caucasus, Azerbaijan being as a linkage, as my colleague said. So this is very important for us to have stable, developed South Caucasus. And now we are in 2024. We have solved the issue of the separatism, and now we have a very good opportunity. So having said that, this is again coming back to the importance of the Central Asia. The George Orwell, the famous poem writer, in one of his novels in 1984, which is called 1984, he divided the global affairs, the global geography into 3 parts: Oceania, Eurasia, and East-Asia. So even here, we see how much important the Central Asia, its role, its resources, is becoming more and more important. And by the way, Sevil Khanım, I would like to have your comments, because we cannot review the Central Asia without speaking Turkic-speaking countries, because as Mr. Zdechovsky and you all mentioned, we have more than 200 million people, Turkic-speaking nations, living in this area, in this geography. We have huge resources. For example, Kazakhstan only owns so much uranium resources the number one, I think that according to the statistics in the world. And some European leaders are coming to Kazakhstan, to Central Asia, in order to review and evaluate opportunities, how they can import some of these resources. So here, again, we have to mention the role of the Turkic-speaking nations, the Turkic-speaking organization, because even for example, the Hungary and eastern part of the Europe, Slovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, they are trying to enhance their relations with Central Asia, with South Caucasus, with Azerbaijan through this Turkic-speaking organization. So I would appreciate your comments on this.
You're right. So now we are in the process of big transformation, global transformation in the political world. And of course, the emergence of some organizations we can regard as natural process. And the organization of Turkic-speaking nations, Turkic nations, I think will become a very important structure in the overall global system. And what I want to say in the beginning, that this organization is really constructive, is really open for cooperation and fruitful cooperation. So it has no any conflicting matters, it has no any military aspects, which is very important, I think, for the European Union maybe also. And while speaking about wider cooperation and wider geography, I think we need to attach importance to regional organizations like the Organization of Turkic Nations, and because this is not only big geography for you, this is not only big population for you, this is also huge opportunities. So coming through these organizations, coming through this area, actually you open up other areas for yourself as well. So Central Asian countries, I think 4 or 5 are members of this organization. They are, again, I will come to the ideas, they are full of resources, they are waiting for cooperation maybe because the European Union is regarded a big market for these sellers, and also for the European Union, Central Asia is a good market to buy. Therefore, so this, healthy interests ultimately can clash in a good way and bring to other levels of interaction. So Turkic nations, I think, will have a great potential, both politically and economically, in the nearest decades. They are in the process of evolution, and 21st century was announced by these nations a century of Turkic nations. And it is very important so to find the parallels with these organizations as well, and we will actually help others to eliminate the bad results of conflicts. You mentioned about the Karabakh conflict in South Caucasus, and we fully agree with you that without this peace that Azerbaijan fosters and wants to achieve in South Caucasus, we will not be able to go far further and to have wider partners in Europe, maybe in Central Asia, in overall Eurasia, maybe in Africa, otherwhere of the world. And therefore, so this year, our focus is to sign up this peace treaty because this means investments, and this means, again, not opportunities only for Azerbaijan, this means opportunities for Armenia. And we have repeatedly stated that Armenia needs this peace treaty more than Azerbaijan, because this country is under influence, this country is in blockade for some occasions, and this peace treaty actually will save Armenia from blockade, from pressures, and it will become at least independent economically and politically. Therefore, what we offer Armenia, let's live together, let's live in peace, and so let's respect territorial integrity and sovereign rights of each other. So because any progress passes through this principle. So as we soon discuss and sign this agreement, finally, as we are closer to the progress in all items. And one more thing about the communications. We see that in this troubled world, when the European Union is also seeking for alternative routes, the routes coming through South Caucasus and specifically Azerbaijan, Armenia and Georgia will be of great importance for the European Union as well. This is not only the middle corridor, these are symbiosis routes which will, join the roads, automobile roads, railways, and plus seaports. Therefore, we think that peace in South Caucasus will bring peace and stability to other regions as well. So because the world is interrelated, so we cannot live in isolated, and the world cannot live without any part of the world as well. So this interrelations actually pushes us for further, seeking ways for cooperation.
Yeah, very, very interesting moments you have highlighted, Ms. Mikhailova. Just last but not least, I would like to wrap up our conversation asking Mr. Zdechovsky. We have spoken about economic, transport, communication links, the importance of ending conflict in the South Caucasus, but unfortunately, just yesterday we have seen some negative developments in the Central Asia. I mean, the region which is very close to Central Asia, is a part of the Central Asia, is deteriorating security situation in the border region of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. So here I would like to ask Mr. Zdechovsky, what is the view? What's your view? How would you elaborate on tackling the issue of the security challenges that is taking? Because we have a middle corridor, China is interested in exporting its goods to Europe, but when we have this major negative development in the region, of course, it undermines and it puts under the security risk of whole of the region, and transport and communication links are being also endangered.
You know that Iran is provoking a lot of conflicts in the Middle East for long times. How they supported Hamas, how they supported Hezbollah, what they did in Syria, what they did in Iraq, how they really started bombing the American bases in Iraq and in Syria. And there was a lot of racket attacks against the American bases. And you know how they supported rebels who are attacking the business boats what are coming from the Asia to the Europe. Also, Iran is real threat. And when they started now with rocket attack against Pakistan, they provocate war. And we are not happy with them. Iranis are really for long times, and you know it very well as Azerbaijan, they are not partners. When you started the conflict with Armenia, Azerbaijan was prepared to attack you. Also, they sent the tanks to the borders, and we saw that they really wanted to start any war with you. And Iran, for the future, Europe is really very clearly observing the situation. And you know that we wanted to have it any peaceful solution with Iran. But how you can do with this regime any agreement, any cooperation, if they are something other saying, something other doing, and they are supporting terrorism around the world against the European Union, against the democratic world. So it's for us in this moment quite challenging. And Afghanistan with Taliban, you are Muslim countries. How are your relationship with this Muslim country, and what Afghanistan is doing to the own citizens? Also, I think that you have it much more pro-democratic values and respecting all the democratic things as this very big Muslim country like Afghanistan. And really, for us, we need any bridges, and Central Asia is our bridge to Afghanistan included Pakistan, make the bridge between EU and Afghanistan. But it's very difficult find there any partner, reliable partner, and do there something. We are sending there the humanitarian aid, but I'm not sure that humanitarian aid goes to the concrete people. This is like Hamas in Gaza. Hamas stole all humanitarian aid, what we are sending there. We see every day the many trucks what we are sending from European Union. There are medicals, there are uh, things, uh, special things for the children. There are things from hygiene, and Hamas stole it. And the same situation is with Taliban in Afghanistan. Also, if there will not change the atmosphere and Taliban will not be prepared, or Irani's regime will be not prepared for any dialogue, it's very difficult. Find it there something what will make this stability in this region.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Zdechovsky, for your valuable thoughts. We really appreciate your insights. So, as the members of the Azerbaijani Interparliamentary Cooperation Committee from our side, responsible for the European Parliament, we wish you good luck. We, as the members of Azerbaijani Parliament, looking forward to cooperating and to expanding our relations with the members of the European Parliament. I do hope that if elected, we will continue our cooperation with you after the incoming elections in Europe in this summer. So I do hope that our cooperation will go on. So thank you very much, and I think that it's time to wrap up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you
See
very
you.
much, and I wish you all best to Azerbaijan, to Baku. Have a nice day.